The PC Planet podcast is brought to you by the Southern Colorado Computer Enthusiasts. All right, welcome to PC Planet, podcast where we talk about PC news around the world. Today's topic is going to be GPUs, fantastic GPUs, and where to find them. Corey, I thought you could start us off with how do we find these GPUs today?
Well, first off, good luck. The second is really, if you have the cash, pay a scalper. Unfortunately, by doing so, you enable the scalper to continue doing that. Micro Center does have a unofficial Discord channel that you can check for stock updates and things like that. If you join our Facebook group, Southern Colorado Computer Enthusiasts, there is also a Micro Center availability stock as well that can be used. The Listen, honestly, hashtag real talk. This is a horrible time to buy a GPU. It really is. My personal recommendation would be if you are new to the PC market and you're looking to build a system, either buy a pre-built or wait. If you have a friend that can give you a bot script or something, you could always go that route. Have the bot analyze, Best Buy, Micro Center, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. Actually, I don't think Micro Center has a online option. Aside from that, you could go the EVGA shuffle, you could go the Newegg shuffle, but aside from that, I would just wait.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the major complaints about the Newegg shuffle, and I think I agree with this complaint, is you oftentimes end up with some crap that you don't need,
Yeah,
like
they're
power supplies that explode.
or they're like, here's a 3080, and we want $1,200 or $1,300 for it. Why? Because we're including a gigabyte Aorus motherboard that you don't fucking need.
Or we're including a sweet RGB membrane keyboard.
Membrane, woohoo!
Yeah. So speaking of GPUs and, well, pointless GPUs, really, 3090 Ti from MSI. Why does this even need to exist?
Honestly, shareholders. That's literally the only freaking reason. Shareholders. Because the 3090 Ti uses the exact same chipset and the exact same manufacturing process as the 3080, which there are people who have been waiting a year and a half to get their hands on a 3080, and now suddenly Nvidia's like, okay, so we're going to shift production from the 3080 to the 3090 Ti, and we're going to split it. Why? Why? You already have people who have been trying for a year and a half to get their hands on a 3080. Why suddenly introduce a new SKU? It makes no sense except to make the shareholders happy.
Absolutely. And not to mention the fact that if you're going to get a 3090 Ti, you're probably going to need to upgrade other hardware too, because it's going to require a 1000 watt power supply at a bare minimum, and you're going to be
Which is
dropping
nuts.
a ton of cash.
Which is nuts. And honestly, if you're going to buy a 1,000 watt power supply, you're going to want to get something that's either 80 plus gold or 80 plus platinum, which is going to run you bank.
Absolutely. And especially with the 3090 Ti, the rumor is it probably will cost as much as $4,500, which is absolutely bananas.
Bro, are you serious for a 3090 Ti?
Yeah, according to the Digital Trends article I'm seeing, yeah, 1000 watt power supply and as much as $4,500.
Honestly, like if the introduction price is 4,500, God knows what the scalper price is going to be.
How could I don't even understand how you could scalp such a thing, because nobody's
Honestly,
going to have $4,500 for the base price anyway.
you would think that, but we have seen so many people at launch picking up multitudes of 3090s for $1,500 to flip them.
That's true. And then again, we had Best Buy scalping RX 580s.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I can't even really say that they're scalping them. The problem is the 580 is not manufactured anymore. So what was happening was Best Buy was getting 580s at retail price instead of wholesale, and then adding the Best Buy tax on top of that, which really sucks because you have people you had thankfully it's not on their website anymore, thankfully, but who knows how much damage they've done. They were selling an RX 580 for like $489, which is stupid when they also have the 6500 XT for $299.
Which, I mean, nobody should get the 6500 XT anyway. But
I mean, this
also,
is true.
nobody should buy a
This is true.
580 for that price.
I mean, their 6600 Armor 8 gig was $479. And that's just for a regular MSI RX 6600 Armor 8 gig dual fan. And
Whew, still
they were
cheaper than what they wanted on Amazon, though.
yeah, and they were still trying to ask like $489, $490 for the RX 580.
Now, was that for the 8 gig or the 4 gig?
That was for the 8 gig.
Yeah, that's still not as bad as what a seller on Amazon wanted. I was looking to replace a 580 in a buddy's kid's computer, and there's a seller on Amazon that wanted almost $600 for one.
Well, and really, that's a big problem with Amazon, and unfortunately, it's also a big problem with Newegg. Is they allow third-party sellers to sell on their site. So let me go ahead and hop on Newegg right here. Let me go ahead and do a search for a GTX. You know what? Let's go small. Let's go small. Let's do GTX 1050 Ti. Here we go. And apply search. Now, I'm going to open up a new tab here. GTX 1050 Ti launch price. GeForce GTX 1050 Ti has 5 years under its belt now and launched for $139. Now, I am reading an article from 2021, so I know it's more than 5 years, but $139 was the original launch price for the 1050 Ti. And you had the AIB cards, like MSI, Gigabyte doing their own thing. So, a Gigabyte, or a 1050 Ti for, 150, between 150 and 200. And let me look at Newegg here. Featured items, the first one is 289, then 329, then 319, then 279. Well, you know what? Let's go crazy. Let's do sort by highest price. Which, if I am somebody who is new to the PC enthusiast market and I'm looking to sell something and get the most for my money, I'm going to check sort by highest price. Here is on Newegg.com a P&Y, which for those of you who know, P&Y is definitely on the lower end of cards. A P&Y GTX 1050 Ti DirectX 12 VCGD GTX 1050 T4 PV 4GB card for $700.
Ooh.
$698.91. And this is sold by Itdigi, ITDIGI. $700 for a card that launched at 140-ish. It's insane. That is absolutely insane. And I can't even say that that's an isolated incident. Here's another seller, a MSI Gaming X 1050 Ti for 600. Here is a single fan, no PCI power, low profile for 500. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. Honestly, like I said before, this is not a good time to buy a GPU. It really is not. It really is not.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely have to agree. If you absolutely need a GPU now, I guess, then you just need a GPU now. But
Get
if
a
you can
GT
hold off,
730.
yeah, if you just
It,
need something to web browse, get a GT 730 or a 1030.
yeah, if you went out and you bought, you know, a Ryzen 5 5600X and you don't have a GPU, and you need a GPU and you can't find one, honestly, your best bet at this point would be to either get some friends together, get a bot, try to get something on the Newegg Shuffle, try to find something that's in stock. Your best guaranteed bet would be to get a GT 1030 or a GT 710 or a GT 730. Is it going to play modern games? No. Is it going to play older games? Sure. The main thing is it'll at least get you a display up and running. That's really what it comes down to. It'll just get you a display up and running. You might be able to run, like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 3 or something like that. Or, and I don't really recommend this because then you're going to have to replace two parts instead of one, is you could always get a CPU with integrated graphics.
That's true. I was also thinking along those lines, you could go with something like the Ryzen 5700G, which has some decent graphics horsepower behind it, but it's also an 8-core 16-thread CPU. So if you get a
That's
discrete
pretty
graphics
good.
card down the line, you've still got a great processor to go with it.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull up YouTube real fast. What'd you say that was? The Ryzen.
The 5700G.
Let me go ahead and pull up some FPS counts for the Ryzen 5700G. Okay, so I'm seeing around 22 FPS for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which, if anyone has played MFS 2020, that is a pretty demanding game.
Quite so.
Here's Days Gone, and let me check here what system he's running at, or what resolution he's running at. Uh, Oh, of course, he doesn't say what resolution he's running at. Well, he's running a LG 22MP68VQ. So let me go ahead and look up what that panel is and grab the resolution from it. Okay, so that is a 1080p panel. So these frame rates are at 1080p. So 34 FPS and 3D's gone. The warrant is, well, there you go. If you're an esports guy, this would be perfect for you. Uh, the 5700G Vega 8 graphics with 16 gigs of RAM hits 89 FPS average on Valorant. So if you're an esports
That's
gamer,
not bad.
no, not bad at all. Even Cyberpunk 2077, granted, RTX off, and DLSS disabled, but that hits 23 FPS, which sucks, but it's playable. Fortnite 87 FPS. Here we got Genshin Impact at 50 FPS, Grand Theft Auto 5 at 51 FPS. Here you go for you esports guys. CS:GO at 134 FPS, and that's just on a integrated GPU within the CPU. So this would be a great option for you esports guys out there. Even RDR2 hits around 30 FPS on the 5700G. So that's a good option. Thank you for that, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, down the line, if you want to upgrade to a discrete graphics card, you have that ability and you've still got a great processor to stand behind
For
it.
sure. For sure, for sure.
Now, in terms of price performance ratios, though, I'd say the 5600G is probably going to be a little bit better because it's $100 cheaper than the 5700G. You've still got 6 cores, 12 threads, and it actually clocks a little bit higher 3.9 base clock, 4.4 boost versus the 5700G, which is 3.8 base and 4.6 boost. It's Vega 7 versus Vega 8. It's a little bit slower on the GPU, but it's also $100 cheaper.
And even so, with GTA 5, you average around 48 FPS. With RDR2, you average around 69 FPS on 1080p. With Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you're hitting around 28, and on Valorant, you're hitting around 137. So that's still really, really pretty respectable for that price point.
Yeah, as long as you're not running like RDR2 at, ultra settings 4K, you're probably not going to be that bad off with a 5600 or a 5700G.
Well, while I agree with 4K, I would even also include 1440p in that group. I
Oh,
mean,
for
it's
sure.
it's it's definitely a 1080p gaming performance level.
Absolutely. My 5600 XT struggles at 1440p in some games.
And I mean, honestly, if you're just looking to get into PC gaming, 1080p is nothing to laugh at. I mean, you're gonna have elitists out there. You're gonna have people that have been doing this for a while that, like me and Drew are running 1440p or 4K displays, but really that's not necessary. I mean, I've been into PC gaming for, 25 years, and I only upgraded to a 1440p a couple of years ago. I mean, before that, I was rocking a 1080p LG ultra wide panel at 75 hertz. And I'll be honest, I was loving it. I was loving it. And you'll have people say, "Oh, once you go 1440p, you'll never go back. Once you go 144 hertz, you'll never go back." I'll be honest, if need be, like, finances or whatever, if need be, I would have no problem going back to a 1080p 60 hertz panel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong, 1440p it's nicer for if you do content creation and you just need those extra pixels. But frankly, for gaming, it's not necessary.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that professional, esports gamers use 1080p super high frame rate monitors. There's a reason for that. 1440p is nice. 2160p equals to 4K. 2160p is nice, but it's not required.
Not remotely. So on the GPU side, we need to talk about Intel.
Mm.
Intel has been lagging in GPU power for, well, forever.
Well, with their integrated GPUs, yeah.
With the integrated GPUs, exactly. Now we have these rumors, and indeed, they're pretty much verified at this point. The Arc Alchemist discrete graphics cards from Intel, otherwise known as DG2. Um, Rumors are, according to Intel themselves, they want to sell millions of them a year.
I really wonder how they're going to accomplish that with the chip shortage.
I wonder that as well, but at the same time, Intel has their own fabs.
And I'm also seeing here, I mean, granted, this was a while ago, August 4th, 2021, Intel's Arc GPU could defeat the Nvidia RTX 3070 and AMD RX 6700 XT. Do I believe that? Not really.
I think we will have to see, but it would be nice to see some healthy competition from Team Blue.
Oh, yeah, because it would force Team Red and Team Green to lower their prices to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would just be nice to get a third player in the game.
Oh yeah, competition is always better for the consumer. Consumers being you, me, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Although millions per year seems like a long shot.
Yeah, I've got a buddy of mine who works for Ford. He works at the Ford plant, and they have an entire lot filled with Ford trucks and cars that are waiting on things like ECU chips, chips for the central dash, the infotainment system. You know, I honestly wonder how they're going to handle this with the chip shortage. I understand that they have their own in-house manufacturing, but supplies for that manufacturing have to come from somewhere. I mean, I work in IT. I've got guys at my job who are using loaner laptops for, 3 to 6 weeks because they're waiting on Dell's and Apple's backlog of systems. So I'm really wondering how Intel's going to try to handle that chip shortage.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know if the chip shortage is an actual silicon shortage. If it's an actual silicon shortage, Intel, I don't think they're going to sell millions a year.
No. I mean, do they have the money to do it? Sure they do. But I don't think the shareholders are going to allow them to do that.
No, absolutely not. And not even just the money. Do they have the manufacturing capacity?
Yeah, that's another good point.
They seem to think they do, and well, if they can actually pull that off, that would be amazing.
It would be because considering thus far AMD, both AMD and Nvidia have shown that they are not able to meet demand, this would be huge. This would definitely force AMD and Nvidia into a corner. If
Yeah,
Intel is able to meet demand somehow while both AMD and Nvidia can't. I mean, to be fair, we have seen better stock with AMD over Nvidia, but still, there's no way AMD is pushing out millions per year.
no, absolutely not. I will say though, with yeah, Intel is really, really new to the discrete GPU game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they stack up. God,
I'll be
I
I'll,
hope they can compete.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. While they are new, while they are new, they have a lot of background history for them. I mean, keep in mind, Intel has been producing their Intel CPUs with integrated graphics for decades. They do have experience in this area. They may not have
That's true.
experience fully with discrete GPUs, but as far as integrated GPUs, they've been doing this for years. And I honestly kind of wonder how much effort would it take to shift from integrated to discrete. I'll be honest, I kind of wonder.
Yeah, that would be a pretty interesting shift if they just shift all of their integrated stuff to discrete and Bob's your uncle.
I mean, AMD's been splitting the bill for years too. Well, not two. They've been splitting the bill. They've been going, CPUs with no integrated graphics and CPUs with integrated graphics. Given the G series. Whereas
That's
Intel
very true.
Intel has been sending out. CPUs with integrated graphics almost 95% of the time, especially considering all of Intel's contracts with the corporate world.
Yeah, that's true. I think especially the lower end DG2 cards are going to be really popular with businesses.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So on to the next GPU topic, used graphics cards. If you are going to sell your used graphics card, how should you price it?
Oh boy. Here is where we get really touchy. So, my old RTX 2070, Asus Dual RTX 2070. I bought it for around $450. Let me go ahead and hop on eBay. Asus RTX 2070. Let me see what those are going for. Let me go ahead and shift over to the left pane, scroll down, click sold items only. Asus Dual 550, 585, 599, 622, 651, 600, 650, 600. Ouch. Here is my suggestion. If you are looking to give someone a good deal, sell under what you paid. If you bought the card for $450, sell it for 400, 425. Normally, I would say sell it for like 350, 375, but these days that's not realistic. I would put it up for between 400 to 425. It's under what you paid, and it is well under what they are currently going for on eBay. Now, if you're one of those guys that's just looking to line your pockets with, gold plated latinum, as far as the Ferengi say, put it up for 600. Sell it. Get rid of it. Sell it for $600. Be one of those guys. My
Just
recommendation,
don't get into our group.
yeah, yeah. If you do that in our group, you're kind of gone. You're gone. Um, my recommendation would be to look at the equivalent current gen GPU. Let me go ahead and pull up Nvidia RTX 2070 versus, let's say, a 3060. Let's say a 3060. Now, I know I'm using user benchmark. I understand it's, and I understand the RTX 2070 is somewhat better in various areas, but let's go ahead and compare the RTX 2070 to the RTX 3070. Really, there's no comparison. The 3070 is better 100% of the time. So let's go ahead and look at RTX 3070 pricing. Let me go ahead and pull up microcenter.com, computer parts, graphics cards, GPU series, more. Wait. Oh, yep. I'm on. Okay. 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 GPU chipset. There we go. Let's go ahead and throw in the 3060 Ti. 3060 Ti. Lowest price is $539. Now let's go ahead and pull up the 3060. $429. So a 3060, which is like 8% slower than a 2070, and it's for $429 compared to the recently sold on eBay of $550 to $600. So if I had a 2070, I would look at this 3060 and be like, wow, that card's like only 8% slower than what I have now. And it's at $429. So I'm going to put mine up. I bought it for $450. I'm going to put it up for like $430, $440, something like that.
Yeah,
That's
seems
personally
reasonable.
my that's personally my take. Well, I say personally as in referencing the general populace. If it was my personal RTX 2070 that I was selling, I wouldn't let it go for more than 350. I wouldn't let it go for more than 350. And that's because I'm factoring in not just the performance, but the age and the usage of the card. This RTX 3060 for 429. Yeah. Is it maybe 8% slower than my 2070? Sure. But it's coming with a warranty. It's brand spanking new retail. It's never been used and it's never been mined on. And these days, with GPUs, you don't know what the other person did to it. You could be buying a 1080 Ti for, 375 bucks. That guy mined with that card 24 hours a day for 6 months. And that thermal paste is toast.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely don't know what you're getting, especially with cards that have been previously mined on. Now, a lot of miners do undervolt and they keep their temperatures very well in check, but some of them don't.
And 100% load is still 100% load.
That's very true.
I mean, if you put in cheese sticks in the oven and it's rated for 425 at 25 minutes, and you put it in at 350 for 7 days, what are you going to have?
Not what you wanted.
Yeah, you're going to have charcoal, is what you're going to have.
I don't even know if you had charcoal at that point. You'd have just atoms.
Yeah. Yeah, undervolting is nice. Undervolting is really nice. We've got some guys on our group actually that undervolt their cards, and they get pretty close to equivalent performance of out of the box without the thermal downsides. But they're not running it at that speed and at that level 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's true. It's like driving a car 10,000 miles a year versus 5,000 miles a year. You're going to go through tires a lot faster. You're going to go through your motor a lot faster.
Yeah, you might be going, 10,000 miles a year at 25 miles an hour versus, 5,000 miles a year at 80 miles an hour. But you're still going to wear out the systems. You're still going to put stress on the motor. You're still going to put stress on the tires. And considering we're talking about mining, you're talking pavement versus gravel roads.
Absolutely. That's a great analogy.
No. Do you have anything else for this podcast, Drew?
I don't think I have anything else right now, except a shameless plug for the Facebook group. If you want to join our Facebook group, Southern Colorado Computer Enthusiasts on Facebook, there'll be a direct link in the description if you're listening to this on YouTube. Otherwise, sccetech.net/Facebook will take you straight there.
Now, I will say, if you are a scalper, you are not welcome. The way our group runs is if you are found to be a scalper, you are banned. This includes our group. This includes if you post in the general Facebook marketplace. If you're a scalper and you post a 3060 in our group for 400, but then you post that same 3060 on the Facebook marketplace for 800, you're gone. You're done. Because we are looking to build a community of enthusiasts that help each other. And if you're looking to line your pockets with gold-plated latinum, you are not the kind of person we want here. Do we understand the urge to make money? Yes. Do we understand the need to make money these days? Yes. But if you have the cash to go to Best Buy and drop $500 on a GPU only to flip it for $1,000 on Facebook Marketplace, you're not hurting for cash, and you're not the kind of person we want here. We want people to help each other. We had a guy who bought a computer. He was a newbie. He was a noob, to the PC enthusiast group, to the PC enthusiast world. And he was scammed. He was sold $1,000 system. He paid like, what was it, between $700 and $900 for the system, and it had a GT 710 in it, which is like an office GPU. That's not something you can game on. Our group came together and built this guy a brand new system equivalent to $800 to $900. And now this guy is gaming his life. And it's amazing to see people come together and help each other this way instead of just looking to boost themselves. I mean, honestly, what's the point? If you already have $500 cash just laying aside to spend on a GPU, you've already won at life. You don't need more. Okay? You really don't. You've already won. You've already got this extra cash just laying around that you could be like, whatever. It's a 3070 for $500. I don't give a shit. If you've already got that laying around, you're fine. You don't need anything extra, okay? You're like the 1% that get like a 40% bonus at the end of the year when their employees only get a what was it at my old job, like a 0.25%. Like, you've already got the money. What are you doing? Literally the only reason for scalping is to give yourself more money while screwing over everyone else. That's it. That's my piece. I'm done. I could rant about this for hours and hours and hours, but that's my piece.
I think that's going to wrap things up for this one. Like I said, Southern Colorado Computer Enthusiasts on Facebook, sccetech.net/Facebook will take you straight there. Thanks for listening. My name is Drew.
My name is Corey.
And we'll see you next time.